Hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Yael, aka Mama Yaya, and today I'll be bringing you part 2 of how my homeschooling experience has been, and I'll be talking more specifically about my homeschool favorites today. So stick around and let's get into it. The very first thing that I have truly enjoyed in terms of curriculum is this book right here. Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. It's pretty scripted, and so you'll see that there's writing in red and then writing in black. So the writing in red tells you as the teacher, the instructor, facilitator, whatever, what to say. I don't say everything exactly as it's written here now, but at the very beginning, when I didn't know what I was doing, it was so helpful to have that scripted out. So if I needed to just rely on that, I could. And then as I went along, if I wanted to make some changes, I could also do that. So they have an activity in each lesson, and it's a sounds writing activity. And sometimes it wasn't like the most exciting thing to do. And so the way I made it a little bit more exciting was to do this next favorite, which is my beatboxing activity. And I'll link that video down below so you can check that out. This is something that I came up with kind of sort of off the cuff. I do have a background in music, so that helped, but there's no previous experience for music required. And essentially, it just helps her to develop some consonant sound fluency as we were practicing our sounds writing. I would dictate the pattern, and then she would just say it back. She would write it down and then say it back. And it has a rhythmic flow to it. So this is where I kind of developed that idea, and then I took it further by introducing it to my youngest child who's in preschool, but is also practicing these initial sounds right now. This has been everything too for our reading experience. This is a Bob book, and I bought 2 sets within the series. I think the first is like for beginning readers, and the second is for, I forget, let's see, beginning readers, and then first stories. And so this is such a great book because they're such simple stories, and they start off with very simple consonant, vowel, consonant words. But my kids, at least my oldest daughter, she felt so accomplished reading these books because they were so short and accessible for her. And, you know, it's just been so great for her to develop her love of reading by just having little wins and doing stories like these every day. My beloved flashcards. So this is something that I used at the beginning with all the kids. And so when we did our circle time, which we don't really do anymore, we would go through these flashcards, and now I just go through them on a daily basis with my preschooler. Of course, at first it was her, she had never done anything like this before. So once she got used to like doing a few sounds at a time, getting those down, we would move to other sounds. And before we knew it, she had the whole deck, and now we just every day just go through all of the sounds. I love these magnet letters. These have been so great to use in so many different ways for all the kids, whether it's to just play around with the letters or match letters to a picture. And what I love about them is that they're so big. Now, the only downside is there aren't multiples of all the letters, only some of the letters. But these have been so wonderful, and we've just used them for so many different activities. So this has definitely been one of our favorites in terms of like manipulatives. This is a fluency binder by JD Alvarez. I have tons of resources from her. This has been so great for both my kids, my older kids, to go through every single day. They just go through different things, the alphabet. We do some skip counting for my oldest. My youngest does counting from 1 through 20. And then they have shapes and colors and days of the week, months of the year, things like that. And it's just been so helpful to go through that just as good practice on a daily basis. This is something that helps with understanding a number related to whatever the date is in different ways. My daughter will write whatever the date is, the day. So like today was the 26th. So she writes the number 26, then she checks if it's even or odd. She does her tally marks. She writes it in word form. We haven't done expanded form yet, but we've been doing the 1 more, 1 less, 10 more, 10 less, and writing it in the tens and ones place. So this has been so great for her to just start the day with, along with the fluency binder. And then we do time. We have this like analog clock in our homeschool room, which I highly recommend you check out that tour. She tells the time, she writes it down, and this is just good practice for her to do. Another thing that we've been doing is a fun money count activity. This is something that I have absolutely loved, hands down, just being able to help my child learn how to count money. And it's very fun for her. She loves just like tallying up how much she made. So this is the money. I think it's I will link this down below, but this is a pretty good pack because it's realistic. And then I made this money count sheet. I will link a free downloadable printable for you today in the description. Basically what she does is she matches up all the different types of coins, so quarters, dimes, whatever, and then she will count it in that order in order to figure out what the value is. And so this has been so great for her to just practice counting money and understanding currency and things like that. And what we're going to be doing is tallying up all of her money and seeing when we get to $1. So she'll be able to understand like how all of these coins, when you get to a certain amount, then it counts as $1. I know this is kind of random, but this is something that I also really love. It keeps things very organized when we're doing like arts and crafts activities, or when I'm setting out the kids' activities, their learning activities for the day. So this has been nice. I just love scarves. I know this is like so totally random, but we have been just doing so many fun like games with scarves, and we do a dance party almost every single day, and sometimes we'll just take out the scarves, and this has just been a lot of fun, and I can link this below. This is something you can do like when you're doing chants or rhymes with kids or whatever the case may be. When they're moving and they're doing this with the scarves, I just feel like it's just been so much fun. This is something that I DIY'd, and this is just representative of my love for hands-on activities and Montessori. Montessori is something that I'm exploring right now. I am in no way an expert on it, but I've been making some fun like DIY activities for my kids, and this is one that I got again as an idea from JD Alvarez. And so this is something where you just, the child practices their fine motor skills and stick straws in there, and it's great. It's entertaining for them for a long time and has been so great for us. Okay. Coming down to the last of my favorites. This is a sensory bin. It has kinetic sand in it. And again, this is something that has been so wonderful for my kids, and it's so stimulating to do sensory bins and things like that. And I would say that that goes for any age. Like honestly, I could sit here and like do the sensory bin for a little while. Last but not least, I will just talk about some books that have been so great and wonderful for us to read. Press Here is so fun. It's an interactive book where the child presses different dots and shakes the book and things like that. And so it's been so great to read just over and over again with the kids. It's so interactive, and it's something that both me and the kids have had a lot of fun reading. Oh, I love this book. My kids love this book, and it's something that we read so many times to learn about loving people and sharing and giving of ourselves. And so this is If You Plant a Seed, and the words and illustrations, the paintings, which are so beautiful. I mean, it's just so beautifully illustrated. It's by Kadir Nelson. This is so close to my heart. My husband and I are both musicians, and so this book has been such a beautiful read for us. It's called My Family Plays Music, and it's just been so great to read and to learn about different genres of music and ways of making music. And yeah, I won't spoil it at all because it has a really sweet ending, and it makes my heart so happy. Thank you so much again for joining me today and for seeing all of the things that I have loved and been able to use with my kids. Comment below and let me know what your homeschool favorites are. I'm sure that if you've been doing this for a long time, you have certain things that you just absolutely love, and I would love to know what those things are. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.